All right, good morning. We are going to be harvesting some honey today. I have Chanel here. She's gonna be my extractor helper because we're learning it together. So we had our beekeeper came and checked on the bees on Sunday. We have 3 hives. It turns out one of them did die from the last cold we got. That's what we were assuming because it looked to be a pretty fresh pile of bees that were dead. So we have 1 hive that we're able to harvest the honey from. So we're gonna be doing that today. We don't have the cool equipment, so we're just doing old school by hand scraping and separating, and hopefully we'll get a abundance of honey. All right, Chanel, so why are you here to extract honey?
So, crazy story. I was here last week buying chickens from them, and I saw these boxes out there. I can't remember if I asked you what they were or if you were just telling me about them. And come to find out, they have beehives. And I just turned 39, and my friend challenged me to make a 40 before 40 list. And a couple of my friends helped me make it, and I'm pretty sure my husband's the one that said one thing I should do is help harvest. Is that what you call it, harvesting honey, or harvest honey from beehive? Which I don't know anybody, which is crazy. She said they were about to do it and they had beehives, so I was pretty excited. Molly's letting me join them today.
All right, so let's get started. You just kind of press against that back. You have to dig down just a little bit, and then you just go all the way to the bottom.
Coolest homeschool day ever.
Yeah, what category does this fall under?
I know. Like, this is way cooler than doing
Science?
worksheets. Oh my gosh. You guys have the coolest life ever.
So when you don't have an extractor, what you can do is you do this. You have to let it sit. Most of the honey drains out. And then there's actually still, like even on these, like there's still quite a bit of honey. So with the wax, if you put it in a double boiler, you just slowly warm it up enough that the honey will just
You'll get even more?
Yeah, so then the wax will go to the surface and you'll get another chunk of honey.
That's so probably how you get the wax if you want to do stuff with it, like chapstick and stuff.
Yeah, and that one, technically the honey is not raw because you warmed it up.
Okay.
But it still tastes great.
Mommy.
Yeah, you can be after Toby, okay?
Look at all this.
Okay, so we've got only 6 frames scraped off. This is a pretty fine net, so it's taking a lot longer to drip through. So we're having to wait because it's getting a little heavy. So we started a second one over here. Same thing, you can see it in here. It's dripping through, can you see that? Very slowly. So we might have to jar it on another day. So the honey is slowly coming through. We got a cheesecloth on to try to make it go a little quicker. So now we're gonna fill up a jar for our awesome bee extractor to take home with her today.
I'm excited. Oh, that works really well. Oh,
Yeah.
Here it comes.
hopefully we don't make a big mess. Oh my gosh.
You just pull it up a little bit. There you go. Yeah.
Honey. Ooh, that's so exciting.
Oh
Fresh from the farm.
Wow.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. This is beautiful. All of this honey running out of it. This is amazing. Look at that. Can you see it,
Thick
Papa?
one.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Whoa, look at all that. Look at it, it's like running out of it.
I see. Can I see? Whoop, 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 whoop. Nope, not stepping over there.
That is so cool.
Good morning. So we're still letting honey drip from yesterday. It's the next morning. You can see here our bucket's about halfway full. You can see that line right across right there. So you still have like all the wax and stuff that's sitting on top. So it's still dripping. There's still a lot in there. I think this bag that we used is really fine. And so I think that's why it's taking a lot longer to seep through, which is okay. But we still have, or this whole other super to extract, and we still have one frame left in here. So we might do, we think one of the mistakes we made was not scraping the capping off first, because the capping is what holds the honey in the cells to begin with. So just scraping the whole thing into the bowl might have been where we went wrong, because if the capping holds the honey in the cell, seems like if you put it into the bag, it would also not let the honey go through. But we're new to this, so I'm not sure. So we're gonna try for this next round when we scrape to take the capping off and see if the honey goes through a lot quicker. And then maybe that'll help us for the next time. So this time around we decided to scrape the capping off first, which we'll find out if it makes that big of a difference through the straining process, as opposed to just scraping it all together.
So what do I do?
You just start at the top and push the honey down.
Like this or the other way like this? Oh, it's sticky.
Yep, it's sticky. You'll have to wash your hands when you're done. It's fine. So just push hard, go all the way down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Can I help scrape that side?
All right, so I've cleaned out what I can from these two supers, and I'm just gonna bring the boxes out here into the sun where the bees can pick at what's left and hopefully clean out all the honey that I as a human cannot possibly scrape out of the combs that they have built upon. Alright, so we'll let the bees clean those up, leave those out for a couple of days, and come back and check on them and see if they're ready to be cleaned up, hosed off.
This honey is real good.
Ew! Okay, so it's Friday. We started our honey extraction on Tuesday, and we are still dripping honey. This bucket, 5-gallon bucket, is almost full. It's still, I'm having to pour from this bowl, just pouring a little bit at a time, letting it all sift through, and then pulling out the wax. Here's the wax that we're scraping off from the top once it's drained through a bit. So I've got 2 bowls kind of going. This strainer seems to be working pretty good. It's a little bit wider than the net in the other 5-gallon bucket. So far we're on day 4, and we extracted 2 supers. One, it wasn't full 10 frames, but pretty close. And so we have a 5-gallon bucket full, and then whatever's left over here. We should have enough honey to last us for quite a bit. But we'll also probably try to sell a little bit of it too. Okay, so we're a week later on our honey, and we finally got all the raw honey dripped into our 5-gallon bucket. So So here's our raw honey that just came straight out of the hive and sifted through. What we have left is the last bit filling up. Now this honey has actually been heated, and it's been like this all over my kitchen for the last week. But this is the, I have to assume that most of this is the capping from the honeycomb, because we've got a few pieces like this that are like the wax, the actual wax. And you can see like the difference, the hard, and then this is become more soft and squishy. So we're just letting that, there's still a lot of honey in there, so we're trying to let as much as drip out as we can. And then this honey has been heated to separate the wax from the honey. So these 3 jars will actually be heated honey. So the process of extracting honey without any equipment, bee equipment, has been long. It's taken us a week. I think next time I'll have a better system. I know when to scrape and what to scrape at what times and how much to scrape so that it can actually drain quicker. It's a pretty cool process, but it definitely is time consuming, which is, I could see why people charge a lot for raw honey, because it definitely takes some work and some time. But we're excited to share some of our raw honey with those of you that were interested, and hopefully we'll keep learning as we get to harvest some more in later months.